All right. And then I'll just ask you to just mute yourself. There'll be time for questions at the end, but please feel free to use your Zoom reactions if you know how to do that, or open up your chat, and we would love to engage with you that way. But we are super excited to welcome you here. I'm Pamela Zimmer, and I'm a corporate director with APL Go. And I'm excited that my team and I are doing this fun virtual candy drop tasting party. And we are thrilled that you're joining us tonight, wherever you're from. I know it's 5 o'clock for me, 8 o'clock for probably a lot of you. And you probably have never heard of candy being good for you, right? I know that my mom never used to say, eat your candy, it's good for you. But you are in for a treat, because what we have to share with you, these candy drops, are both delicious and nutritious. And we're going to get to the tasting part, but before that, we want to share with you a little bit about what goes into these drops. So if that's okay, kind of give me thumbs up, a nod, a yes in the chat, and we will get going. Awesome. So let me ask you a question. Have you ever stood by the ocean or walked barefoot in the grass and you just feel good? You feel the energy from nature. And that energy you're feeling and that calming effect is from negative ions or anions. And anions have proven health benefits and have an extremely calming effect. Nature is shown to have high concentrations of these negative ions, and our plants are actually full of them. How are the plants full of anions? Lightning. I did not know this, but lightning strikes the earth up to 8 million times a day. That's crazy. It's crazy that we're all still alive. And these lightning strikes carry that negative ion energy to the plants and add to their potency. And we know that botanicals have many healing properties, but once you take the plant out of the ground or you pluck it from the tree, it starts to lose some of its healing qualities, because it starts to lose that negative ion charge. And that's why you always hear, eat your food as fresh as possible, eat it while it still has some charge. So what does all of this have to do with what we're doing here today, negative ions and tasting candy? Well, here at APL Go, we've developed a system and a technology where we start by picking our botanicals at the peak of their individual potency. We then extract the plant's DNA, and this results in a pure and potent product that contains all of the plant's natural health benefits. And the next step is we restore the plant's negative ion energy by putting it into a chamber where we simulate this lightning strike in a cold environment. It's pretty amazing, actually. And the last step is we embed that negatively charged plant DNA into the lozenges or drops. And we like to call these lozenges or drops candies because they are so delicious. They literally taste like Jolly Ranchers. And the plant DNA is embedded into this caramel-like substance made from natural molasses and beets. It has only 6 calories and 1 gram of sugar in each, and that is all natural sugar. We call them drops of health, and they really are where nutrition meets technology. So get this, we have found a way to eat candy and get healthy, and we're excited to share it with you. Who likes candy? I like candy. I can see one little guy there who likes candy, probably. They're convenient. Kids and adults love them. They're safe for kids. They're delicious. They work immediately. We call them instant gratification nutrition, and they really taste so good. You can hardly believe they're good for you. You won't find any artificial sweeteners, colors, flavors. Everything comes straight from nature. We are vegan, gluten-free, non-GMO, kosher, halal certified. We own the manufacturing process and facility. We are also registered with the FDA as a food, and we are ISO 9001 and ISO 22000 certified. I know those are, weird numbers, but they're international standards that basically mean what we say is in our product is actually in our product. So our candy drops are truly the real deal. So just as our technology industry has gone through many innovations, the supplement industry has also gone through a lot of changes. And when you look at all the different ways that we've consumed our health and wellness products, most of them have had to go through our digestive process, which can be slow and sluggish, and it may not actually work very well. The true key to health is not actually what you consume, it's what you absorb. So with our drops, we bypass the digestive system altogether. We suck on these little candies, and nearly 100% of the ingredients gets absorbed into our mucous membranes and then into our bloodstream within seconds. It just goes right through into your cheeks. And it's similar to why doctors tell us to put certain meds under our tongue, because it gets absorbed immediately. It's the same thing that happens with these candies. So let me ask you this. If you could choose to get your nutrition from the candies on the left or the horse pills on the right, which ones would you choose? I know which ones I'm grabbing for, the candy every time, but just type in the chat, which ones would you choose? Pills on the right, horse or candies on the left? Yes, the candies, right? It's kind of a no-brainer. Yes, no one wants to swallow pills. So who is ready to taste some of these candy drops of health? Raise your hand, say me if you're ready to taste them. If you don't have your samples, now would be the time to grab them. And then we're gonna get started. So, oops. So Yvette, I am going to hand that to you. And I don't know why that little, the annotate thing, I don't know how that, let's see. Okay. All right.
Okay. All right, ladies, welcome. Appreciate everyone being here. And the first product we're going to talk about is Power for Women Apricot. Now, I will say in the beginning that this is for women, but we do have one for men as well. And I'll share with it briefly at the end of this, what that is, okay? So it tastes like apricot. So what you want to do while I'm chatting here with you, you may want to just go ahead and pop that in so that you can see the taste the deliciousness of this little drop while I'm going through and sharing the many benefits. It's going to be hard to believe that this little drop is going to provide so much for you. So the apricot is rich in phytonutrients, and those are natural components found in the fruits and vegetables. We're not going to use a lot of big words here, but the phytonutrients are believed to be beneficial to humans in preventing diseases. These phytonutrients convert to vitamin A in the body and are essential for the embryo development, the immune functioning, which is huge, improved vision, skin elasticity. It protects us from the damaging molecules that we're subjected to every day, like the pesticides, the synthetic nutrients that is in our makeup, our lotions, our house cleaning products, and our industrial chemical workplace. This is a really powerful drop for us to support on a daily level because it hits our vitality levels for active women's lifestyle, and even those that are on the other end of the lifestyle. As far as we age, this will support us as well, our physical well-being during normal aging, our mood balancing during occasional stress, and a lot of times these days we have more than occasional stress, and supports our diet and physical activity. Now, I was mentioning the industrial chemical workplace. Now, during one of my classes, I was listening to a lecture recently from David Wolf, and he said that since the 1940s, 77,000 chemicals have been introduced to the US. So that was a powerful wake-up call for me. And it got me looking at even more, even though I try to use as many natural products as I can. It got me looking at some boxes and seeing what really comes in our products. And I was amazed at some of the things that just seeing in the cereals that come off of the shelves. So be mindful. These chemicals absorb into our glands, and these glands, our endocrine system produces hormones and signals. So you can see the potential effect these chemicals can have on our endocrine system and also on our nervous system and the digestive system. So some of the vitamins that the apricot contains is the vitamin C, the B complex, and the K, and the major minerals. And you'll find on all of these ingredients I'll share with you, the minerals are pretty common. They're offering calcium, iron, magnesium, phosphorus, potassium, psyllium, and amounts of copper, sodium, manganese. And one of the things about copper I found very interesting is I found this when I was at the farmer's market, that people drink out of copper vessels, cups, or pitchers. They sit that water in for overnight and drink it because it actually helps the kidneys. Copper also helps with the skin, the hair, the bones, the brain, and it helps us make our red blood cells, helps the nerve cells, and again, supporting the immune system and contributing to helping our body make collagen. We tend to, ladies, go out and buy collagen to support our bodies. Our bodies can actually make collagen. All we have to do is put the right ingredients in our bodies for when those signals come up. Ashwagandha is the next one I'll talk about. And it is known for improving and strengthening the immune system again. So you can see how this power is really powerful because, ladies, what I've been finding out, especially going through my course that I'm taking, the gut is the center of our health. And without it, we have all kinds of issues coming up. Whatever we have, we can actually almost lead back to the gut. So it's known, the ashwagandha is known for improving and strengthening the immune system and its communication, because the gut does communicate with our brain. Increases the body's resistance to various infections from microorganisms that we might be exposed to. Ashwagandha destroys the bad bacteria, the viruses, the different fungi, the microparasites, and it's effective against inflammation in the vagina, the discharges that we may experience, the boils or the pimples that we may have. And it is also anti-inflammatory, antioxidant, and has been found to be useful for rheumatoid and osteoarthritis. And it's also antiseptic. And these are issues that I've just been seeing over the years and working with clients in my practice, in my bodywork therapy. It's like people come in with these diagnoses and not knowing what to do. I'm so glad to be able to have something to pass on to them. Ashwagandha also has a cognition promoting effect and is helpful with those with memory deficit, such as Alzheimer's, Huntington's, and Parkinson's. And again, we're not saying that there's a cure. Everything that we're sharing today is based on science. So we're just sharing what the plants can do in our bodies, what the DNA is able to do in our body. The asparagus root has a positive effect on the kidneys as a diuretic, helping to regulate blood pressure and rid the body of excess fluid buildup in our tissues. A lot of us suffer from that as well. Kidneys, because we do so much stressing as we live life, there are all kinds of circumstances. It can be good stress, it can be bad stress, it's still stress. But we don't want to have it elongated so that it's like really wearing out our organs. So the asparagus root addresses that. It also aids in the body's filtration system of the kidneys and helps to ease the acute and chronic inflammation of the kidneys, of the bladder, and the urinary tract. And it provides, again, a good source of those essential minerals that I was mentioning. The boron is added into that. The potassium, in addition to and calcium, in addition to the others that I've named. The dahlia leaf helps to restore normal levels of female hormones. Our body will make the hormones that it needs as long as we have materials in our bodies. And the let me say this right. The Anna, I'll tell you these names. The melanin restores the endocrine system functioning, and the major endocrine glands are the thyroid and the adrenal glands. So we have actually we put a lot of stress on ourselves, and this leaf will help to provide support to the thyroids and the adrenal glands. The next is the ginger root. We know this is very powerful. A lot of these we can even just cook and use on our foods. Effective for preventing and alleviating peptic ulcer disease, and has a positive effect on the lining of the stomach and prevents intestinal parasites. Again, we're looking at how close our gut and our reproductive system is when it comes to supporting with these ingredients. The ginger root has a strong antioxidant and soothing effect, and that's why it can be used for stomach discomforts. And the ginger is also an analgesic for diseases of the joints, for arthritis, degenerative diseases of the joints where the cartilage lining and the joint erodes over time, which that has led to people having replacements. And I'm sure that you all are familiar with that. It also helps with rheumatism and arthritis. So this is really a powerful, powerful blend and synergistic of ingredients that will help us in overall everyday life. The ginger also helps with strengthening of the blood vessels, reduces the risk of blood clots, and how many of us know people that are experiencing that? And again, calcium, chromium, magnesium, silica for the bones and the tendons. We never think about supporting the connecting parts of the bones. And this ginger root helps us to give that body support. Ginger is also used as an analgesic for diseases of the joints, for arthritis, degenerative diseases. This is huge because we tend not to be able to move our hands and joints so well after a certain age. And I'm going to tell you, since I've been taking these, for me, it has helped with, I've worked on bodies for 15 years, and that tends to wear on my joints, on my hands, give stiffness. A lot of my colleagues, arthritis, have carpal tunnel. I don't have any of that. And just when I see the positive benefits for these plants, I was like, I need to just take these just to restore my body after using it so long, 15 years on working other people's bodies. So ginger is also a universal remedy for ridding the body of accumulated toxic waste. And one more, real briefly, is the ginkgo leaf. And this improves memory, reduces anxiety, and in studies, it is shown its anti-inflammatory and anti-allergenic properties. It's shown to block formation of blood clots again, and as in one of the other ingredients I was saying, and it cleans the lymph. I found out when I was taking my anatomy classes, like this is our second garbage disposal of the body. You know, we really do need our lymphatic system clean, and the ginkgo is going to help support that. And the ginkgo leaf, with the ginkgo leaf, several studies show that it is safe and effective botanical for improving symptoms of Alzheimer's, vascular dementia, and also menopausal disorders such as memory, concentration, depression, dizziness, tendinitis. And that's another thing. I saw so many diagnoses with people that I was seeing on a regular basis, and the ringing of the ears was another one, which there's something that's out of my scope. But they would be able, their doctors had them doing exercises to balance the crystals that are in their ear. And here I find that the ginkgo leaf is something that can help support that in this drop. So those are the ingredients for the Power Apricot. And I'm going to move on to the next slide. And we have a testimonial. One of the things that I found out with a lot of women and girls is like the bloating during our cycle time. And we have someone on this evening, and she's going to share her testimonial with her. I was really shocked. She was a skeptic when I introduced her to this product. She's always listened to what I have introduced to her, but she will tell you she was a skeptic. She took this product for, I believe it was for her first 30 days. And I'm going to let her share her story with you. Maxanne, are you on? Are you unmuted?
Yes, I am. Thank you, Yvette. So is anybody shocked at seeing the difference in those pictures? I'm seeing some head shake. So I actually posted this in our Facebook testimonial group page because I felt it was so powerful. I suffered for about a year of bloating, which is that top picture, about 1 week before my menstrual cycle. And then in that week, I would have really excruciating low back pain, which was new. Then my menstrual cycle would come, and all of a sudden it got heavy. I mean, like really, really heavy, like something's wrong. Am I going to die? This is not natural to be this heavy. Then the clotting came, and that was scary. And then the long cycles came, and that just added more fear to what was happening. And I remember I reached out to my OBGYN, and I was sharing this information, and I was really just kind of pushed off. And I thought, well, I don't think she understands that I'm really swelling here. So that's when I took the pictures, took a couple before, took an after picture, sent them. And within 5 minutes of her receiving them, I instantly had an appointment to come in. They ran tests from A to Z. They did ultrasounds. They did a uterine biopsy. They looked for cysts. They looked for fibroids, and they couldn't find anything. So guess what their actual conclusion of their report was? Hormonal change. Guess what their cure was? Their diagnosis. This is how we can help you, Maxanne. I see faces lighting up and smiling already. Well, they sure the heck did not introduce me to power. They wanted to put in an IUD. And anyone who knows me knows I am more of a natural person. I don't want anything in my body. So I had reached out to Yvette. She's telling you the truth when she said I was skeptic. And she said, just try it. Try it for 30 days. I was actually on Power for Women for 1 week. I started on a Monday. By the end of that week on a Friday, my menstrual cycle had come. And it didn't dawn on me that I didn't have the lower back pain. I didn't have the moodiness. I didn't have the cramping. I didn't even realize that I was not bloated until my husband came up and was rubbing my shoulders and rubbing my leg. And I'm like, no, don't get in the mood. It's that time of the month. And he said, well, no, you're not. And then he looked down. He's a smart man because he stopped before he said anything further. And I said, oh my God, power's working. It's working. And I'm just like taking off from the kitchen and running upstairs, and I'm calling you that it's working. And she's like, what are you talking about? What's working? And I'm like, the power. I'm not fat. I'm not bloated. I'm not in pain. She's like, oh my God, you just started it. It was literally a week. I had marked it on my calendar. So it works. And I am the biggest skeptic out there. I can tell you again and again, I was skeptic, but I will be forever grateful because this is my daily drop. I do notice that if I go 3 days, and I just came back from a long vacation, and I do know that if I miss it by that 3rd day, I feel the aches, I feel the cramps, I feel the lower back pain. And then when I look down, I'm like, oh crap, here we go again. So that is my reminder, hey, you forgot your power. Get back on your power. My body's telling me that I need it.
Thank you so much for sharing that, Maxanne. And one of the things that she didn't is the blood clotting. That was hard for her to pass that during that time as well. Very painful. She shared that with me. And when I was reading over all of these ingredients and seeing how they actually dissolve those and prevent those, it was like, wow. I was like, this is so awesome. So thank you very much, Maxanne, for sharing yourself with us. Okay. And the Power for Men that I mentioned at the beginning is a lemon flavor. It helps men with their energy and vitality levels for active male lifestyle. mood balancing, because they have hormonal issues as well. We just they never address it. It's like something that's kind of like taboo, but they have moods as well, swings, and it supports the prostate and the urinary system response as well. In addition to the other ingredients, you see those ingredients that are in there, they support the men as well as the women. Okay, so that's what I have to share for you all this evening, actually.
Thank you so much, Yvette. Wow. Isn't power amazing? I mean, we would be good if we just spent a whole hour on this one drop. It's incredible, but we got 4 more to go. So I'm going to pass it on to Miss Maxanne.
Thank you, Miss Pamela. So our next drop that we're going to taste is going to be the RLX, and this stands for relax. If you are one that has daily stress, anxiety, or insomnia, you're really going to love this drop. RLX tastes like banana, and it is offering a natural support for already normal relaxation and healthy sleep patterns, which I do not have, but it does work. It does have a response to everyday stress, mental calmness and relaxation, and of course, our emotional well-being. Now, when Yvette turned me on to this drop, you would think after the power, I wasn't going to be skeptical, but I still was. I guess I'm a little bit of a hard head. So she explained this drop to me, and my first thought was banana. What the heck does banana do? Well, banana has a property that strengthens our nervous system, and it also helps produce our white blood cells and reduce swelling. Now, if you look up any one of these ingredients tonight, you guys are going to find lots and lots of benefits. It's just not possible for us to cover every single benefit of these drops. So just kind of keep that in mind. We're just going to share a little bit of what's going to benefit relating to the drop. So if we think of banana, I never would have thought it had anything to do with our nervous system, but it does. If we look at chamomile, I'm sure we're all familiar with chamomile as far as the tea and drinking it and having that calming effect on our mind and our body. So we have that in there. And I was actually surprised to learn that chamomile traditionally was used for colds, which I never knew. Then we have lettuce. I laughed at this one when Yvette told me lettuce. I was like, Yvette, you are crazy. What the heck is lettuce going to do for us? And she explained there's amounts of energy and protein in lettuce. There is a dietary fiber in there, and then lots and lots of vitamins and minerals in lettuce. So I'm like, oh, wow, all these times I'm eating salad and I didn't know that I'm putting all this extra stuff in me. Thanks, Mom. I love it. If we look at Siberian ginseng was traditionally used to prevent colds and flus, and the flu, and it increases vitality, longevity, and it does have vitamin A, C, E, and D. I think it's got everything but Z in there. It is found to regulate the nervous system, which goes hand in hand with our drop, and it does prevent that mental and physical fatigue as well. Then if we look at, let's see, passion flower, I remember seeing that one, like, what the heck is a flower going to do? And if I eat this drop, is it going to taste like a flower? Is it going to be like greeny, grassy flavor? Well, passion flower helps with sleep. It helps with anxiety. It helps with insomnia and stress, which is actually related to the drop in itself. Ashwagandha, as Yvette covered, there's a lot of it that helps on the hormonal, as we learned with the power drop, but it also is a calming effect. And as we saw from the picture, it helps reduce swelling, and it does help lower blood pressure. And for some of us that have high blood pressure, having that blood pressure come down a little bit actually allows your mind and your body to relax. So those are our ingredients in it. I got hooked on relax because the chaos of the world is the best way to say it. I was a full-time working mom in the corporate world, which, if we're being realistic with each other, that's stressful in itself on a daily basis. And then the pandemic hit. chaos hit the world. I think that was right around when we had the, what was it called? The Capitol, when the Capitol got attacked, and then all these shootings took off. So with all that happening, in the midst of all that, I was laid off from my job. So of course, naturally, I felt the stress. CDC closed down the schools, before and after school care programs rode side and side with the school closing. And then they said 65 and older, you'll have to quarantine. Well, there went my retired mother-in-law of being able to babysit, but that was okay because now I was home. Now I had to learn how to be a full-time stay-at-home mom with kids doing distant learning. Anybody experience that during the pandemic? I know I was not the only one, but I also felt stressed. Hats off, by the way, to any moms, aunts, cousins, anyone staying home with their kids full-time. I never knew how big of a job that was, but I had to learn it, and it was a challenge. There were days where I wanted to scream. There were, unfortunately, days that I wanted to cry, but I never gave myself permission. Wish I would have known you then, Miss Pamela. I just felt like it just wasn't going to solve anything. And instead, for whatever reason, my mind said, oh yeah, yelling is going to solve the problem. Cussing and teaching your kids, unfortunately, cuss words is going to solve the problem. And it was just a constant battle of arguing with the kids and trying to keep the house updated and what's for dinner. And I'm thinking, I did all this when I was working full time. This is supposed to be easy, but it wasn't. I had stress. I had anxiety, and this is real talk. It didn't go away. It kept getting worse until I called Miss Yvette and I said, I can't handle it anymore. And I just broke down. I was like, I really feel like my next step is to call my doctor, and I'm going to be asking for some medication. And you know, I am not one for medication. And Yvette said, no, I want you to try relax. Yvette, this is not going to work. Especially when I looked and I saw banana. And then I saw passion flower and ashwagandha. I couldn't even pronounce. I'm like, what kind of thing are you referring to me? I can't even pronounce these things. What the heck is banana going to do for me? She explained it. She broke it down, gave me the explanation. Try it for 30 days. That's all I want you to do, Maxine. Try it for 30 days. Let me know how you feel. And I'm still skeptic. It wasn't going to work. Well, ladies, RLX is my #1 go-to drop. There's daily stress. There's daily anxiety. It doesn't go away. The world is still in a chaos. We still have a pandemic. Now I'm remote working one day, in the office working the next day, and back at home working my business, all while trying not to stress while my kids are in the classroom. It's just as stressful. So I take relax every single day. And if I don't, I feel it. I'm so in tune with my body. I feel it in my shoulders. I feel it in my mood. I feel it in my breathing. And then I know, you forgot your relax. It's actually, it amazes me when my 9-year-old says, Mom, you're getting a little cranky. Do I need to go get you your RLX? Like, yes, I need my RLX today. So even the kids know Mom needs her RLX. And that is my #1 go-to drop, with power being my second. Forever grateful to you, Miss Yvette.
Oh, thank you so much, Maxanne. Such good information.
Absolutely.
Yes, awesome. All right, we're going to keep moving in the respect of time here, and we are going to move on to ICE. So Miss Jennifer, will you please unmute and share about ICE? And for those of you, our guests here tonight, if you want to just pop those drops as you're hearing about them, one of the things that we want you to do is make sure that you're tasting all of these nutritious, delicious candies. So Jennifer.
I'm going to be speaking about ICE, and I am first going to talk about the sweetener that's in these drops, and which is molasses, and which is a high concentration, has a very high concentration of nutrients. And it is the concentrated flowing out from organic sugar beets. And the phenolic, which you don't, it's the pigments and the compounds, are antioxidants. And they're found in many, many medicinal herbs, fresh fruits, and foods, and they're higher than antioxidants than blueberries. And it's anti-inflammatory, anti-cancer. So the sweetener is as safe as anything could possibly be. Okay, ice has a natural taste of cool mint. And as you can read from the slide, which I'm not going to read, I'm just going to talk about the ingredients. Sea buckthornberry is rich in vitamin A, C, H, which is biotin and coenzyme R, E, B1 niacin, B2 riboflavin, B3, what did I say? B1 thiamine, B2 riboflavin, B3 niacin, B6, B9, and K. It's rich in iron, calcium, magnesium, potassium, sodium. It helps repair the liver if you have an injury, and it helps reduce stress. And it also helps repair the mucous membranes in the gastrointestinal tract, which also aids in repairing ulcers. The one thing that was really cool, I thought too, it helps reduce the fat that forms between integral organs. So talk about sea buckthorn berry, pretty incredible. The next one I'm going to talk about is meadow sweet leaf. Again, anti-inflammatory, it's an astringent, it's anti-acid, it's anti-ulcer, relieves stomach discomfort, and it also helps relieve joint pain. It helps promote the flow of urine, heartburn, and I just learned this, if I'm saying this wrong, salicylates that convert to salicylic acid, which is similar to synthetic aspirin. So it is I again have, because of all these drops and more that you're going to hear about, I don't take anything else except these drops. I don't take any Advil, Tylenol, Tums. I was a Tums junkie. And I'll tell you what, these work in 10 minutes. And if it's really a bad situation, I will pop 2. And we all know a friend that was at a dinner, and he is a vegan, and a vegan that's okay if it's a situation I may have to have meat. But what he did is he basically is a vegan all the time. He was at a very important dinner, and the only thing served was steak. And he ate it, enjoyed it, had a lovely dinner, and then he had to excuse himself, go back to the hotel room. He popped an ice, waited 10 minutes. Okay, it's helping a little. Then he popped a second. Now, mind you, he doesn't eat meat. And then he went back to the party. So he's a real proponent of this. The third thing I'm going to talk about is licorice root. It's used in traditional Chinese medicine for pain and improves spleen and stomach functioning, eliminates phlegm and from coughing, antioxidant, antiviral, antimicrobial, and it works against yeast. And it also increases energy, just to name a few. Chamomile, Maxanne touched on, and which is in Relax. It is also in ice. Like it is, it's a soothing sedative, which can reduce anxiety and improve sleep. Many of you have taken chamomile tea before sleep. This also has anti-tumor properties and relieves menstrual symptoms, and it's anti-gas. Mint, it's from the peppermint plant, used as a dietary supplement for irritable bowel syndrome and digestive problems. It is also an antioxidant and improves digestion and works on the good functioning of the central nervous system. Aloe vera leaves, gel from the inner leaf, activates self-cleaning the system of the body. It removes toxins, antibacterial, anti-inflammatory, antifungal, improves blood circulation, cleans and dilates the capillaries and veins, and it also helps ulcerative colitis. That's aloe vera, just again, to name a few. Now, my biggest surprise with the whole thing was carrot. Carrot cleanses and normalizes the intestines, which improves in the gastrointestinal tract. It is very high in vitamin A, and beta carotene traps free radicals and strengthens the immune system. This helps remove toxins. Again, this is also antibacterial, antifungal, and anti-inflammatory. So succinctly, we have these 6 ingredients plus the mint, which gives it the taste too. And I can't say anymore. This is carefree digestion at its best. So I'm going to pop one right now. Thank you.
Jennifer. I love ice. It really is like the fastest working drop that we have. I love it. Thank you. And if anyone has questions, feel free to type them in the chat and we will do our best to answer them. All right. Next is actually STP, stop, and I'm going to talk about that one. It is quick help at your fingertips, supporting the body's natural responses to occasional physical discomforts, the repair process, and can have a calming effect on temporary aches and pains from physical overexertion. With a cherry on top, the soothing, luscious taste of natural cherry flavor dissolves in your mouth. I love this one. We have already talked and heard a little bit from Yvette and some others about ashwagandha. So I'm going to kind of skip through some of that because we don't want to repeat it, although we do have a really thick manual that we could go to for every single ingredient, every single botanical, and we really don't have time to go through it all. So we're just really scratching the surface of each botanical. But one of the things that I found interesting about ashwagandha is it has been important in India's healing system, their system of Ayurveda, and it dates back to 6,000 BC. So these botanicals have been used for thousands and thousands of years. It helps with stress reduction. It's anti-inflammatory, like we've heard, antiseptic, anti-arthritic, helps support the formation of new neural pathways in our nerve cells, which again is helpful for those with memory deficits. The next one is cherry. That's what gives it its flavor. This one is beneficial for improving capillary strength and cardiovascular conditions. It has anti-inflammatory effects on our joints, muscles, and connective tissues. And it's why it pairs so well as a post-workout combo with the next drop that you'll actually hear Sheila talk about and you'll try. Cherries also contain calcium, potassium, phosphorus, vitamin C, beta carotene, and provitamin A, as well as melatonin. And this is interesting. I started taking this one before bed, and it really does, along with the relax, help me calm down a little bit. So that was interesting. Ginger root, Jennifer just told us all about ginger, but again, it strengthens the blood vessel, reduces the risk of blood clots, helps recover from cold, flu, sinusitis, soothes throat pain. I don't know if anyone ever remembers taking a cherry flavored Sucrets cough drop as a kid. Those were the only ones that I would take, and I hated them, but it was the only thing that soothed my throat. Well, now we have this cherry candy drop that actually tastes like yummy cherry, and it can help soothe that throat pain as well. It also includes, let's see, antibacterial, viral, fungal, inflammatory, botanical, anti all of that. It doesn't have that. It's anti. Then grapple plant root. Again, this was a new botanical for me. It's used for fevers, arthritis, skin problems, and diseases of the digestive tract. It has pain relieving properties and has been shown to reduce parasites. So again, this is a great drop to use for fevers instead of a Tylenol. Licorice root, we've heard about this one as well, used in traditional Chinese medicine. It also, I found this interesting, it has been shown to significantly increase the body's resistance to infectious diseases. So that is licorice root. Pod pepper, cayenne. This one is an interesting ingredient. Chili pepper, is one of the most well-known pain relievers of acute or chronic pain, stimulating the release of endorphins. Those are the hormones in our brain that make us feel good. I did not know that. So all of you people who like spicy food and eat the hot salsa, like, you are doing something good for your body. It has been shown to raise the metabolic rate, aid in respiratory problems, earache, sores, and this is the most fascinating. You guys should pay attention to this. It has up to 6 times more vitamin C than an orange. A cayenne pepper has up to 6 times more vitamin C than an orange. So next time you want that vitamin C uptake, take one of these drops. Raspberry protects the body against free radical cell damage, and that's what we get from all those positive ions. So we have negative ions in our drops, and raspberry is one of those botanicals that also helps protect the body against free radical damage and oxidative stress. It's high in vitamin C, folate, potassium, and magnesium. It is shown to prevent the growth of cancer cells, reduce the risk of cardiovascular disease, and help regulate blood glucose levels, which can help lower diabetes, as well as having effects against fatigue, irritability, and tension headaches. And the last ingredient is turmeric. Yeah, you're sold, right? Everyone's sold on this one. Turmeric, this is another powerful superfood. Sheila's going to talk more about that in the next drop, but this one is a great anti-inflammatory used for the health of bone and joints. And it also has been shown to cross that blood-brain barrier, which is an important factor in those neurodegenerative conditions like Alzheimer's. Really, the list goes on and on and on with these ingredients, and we really don't have enough time for us to really get in. One of the things that I love about these drops, we mentioned that they're safe for kids. I have an 11-year-old and a 14-year-old, and my 11-year-old does not swallow pills. So if he has a fever or something where I would traditionally need to give him a Tylenol or an ibuprofen for something, which I try not to really ever, I can feel good that as a mom, I'm giving him something all natural that he sucks on, that tastes good. So he actually will take it and finish it, and it does what it says it's going to do, and it works. So I'm a huge proponent of these drops. I was sold the minute I found out my kids could take them, and they're amazing. And we're just going to keep moving on. So if you haven't popped your stop, pop your stop, and you might want to pop it with the next drop, which is SLD, which Miss Sheila is going to talk about. So Miss Sheila, unmute yourself.
All right. Thank you, Pamela.
You're welcome.
Hello, everyone, again. And I'm going to be talking about one of my favorite drops, SLD, also known as Slide. And if I had to pick one word that would describe Slide or SLD, I would say mobility. That's what SLD is. It provides mobility to be able to move the body with comfort, ease, and freedom. So by taking a slide, it helps with mobility issues. It also helps to recover exerted muscles, such as, for an example, if you happen to go to the gym, and before you go to the gym, you could take an SLD to help you with your exercise when you go to the gym. And then to recover from the gym, you might want to take another SLD. So it helps with exerted muscles. And also SLD helps with inflammation, joint support, and it also helps with circulation. I have 7 superfoods that I would like to talk about now with the SLD. And I'm going to talk about them briefly. We've been speaking of them throughout. Our team members have been talking about some of these herbs and supplements already, so I'm just going to go through a few of them. But ginger root, we talked about that. It helps with motion sickness and digestive issues. And ginger root is also used as a marinade for some baked goods as a zesty spice. We also have grapple plant. And I had never heard of a grapple plant before. And a grapple plant is also considered a supplement or an herb that you may have heard of before. It's also considered devil's claw. I don't want you to be nervous or scared about hearing that word devil's claw. It's not going to hurt you, it's only going to help. But grapple plant is also known as devil's claw, and it helps reduce pain. That's what the superfood does. And the root of the grapple plant is used for herbal supplements, to make herbal supplements in reducing pain. The third superfruit is licorice root. And the licorice root is powerful antioxidant. We've talked about this. It's also has inflammatory properties. It reduces body fat and increases energy. So as Jennifer mentioned, we have 1 gram of sugar for the beet juice, and also molasses is found as a sugar in our candies. And so it helps when you speak of licorice root and you think of children when they eat licorice. Children love this candy because they don't get all that sweet that you would find in the store with licorice. Another superfood is one of my favorites. I love tea, and my favorite is jasmine green tea. And the superfood that we have in SLD is green tea leaves. The green tea is an antioxidant. It improves brain function, it's anti-inflammatory, and it has bioactive compounds to reduce inflammation. It also protects the cells, and it reduces free radicals within the cells. We also have turmeric root that we've mentioned before. And also we have some fruits in the superfoods of SLD. These fruits you might find in your refrigerator or on the kitchen counter is pears. But we have Duchess pears that's in SLD. And Duchess pears fight inflammation. Duchess pears are found in Central Asia and also European countries. And all the pears of the pear family, such as the Bartlett pear, for an example, what you find here in the United States, it aids in weight loss, it fights inflammation, it promotes gut and heart health. And Duchess pears also helps with digestive issues, and it protects the immune system. And the last superfruit is the wild strawberry. And the wild strawberry is an excellent source of potassium and fiber. It supports heart health and reduces blood pressure. It's packed with fiber. It's also known as a laxative, the wild strawberry, and a diuretic. And the difference between a wild strawberry and a regular strawberry would mean how it is planted, how it's planted in the soil, and also it has a stronger and sweeter taste of the wild strawberry. Now I have a quick testimony that I like to give right now about my favorite candy, Slide. And I wanted to say that a couple of months ago, my daughter and my son and myself went to California. And while we were there, my son wanted me to go hiking with him. Now, I didn't know how I was going to do this because I didn't really want to go hiking. I had never done it before, so I was nervous about it, but I said, I'll try to do that. I suffer with circulation problems in my legs. So I didn't know if I wanted to do this, but what I did, I took a slide drop, and instantly I started to feel better, and I started to climb that hill. Next thing I know, I was climbing with my son, and we were on the top mountain looking over the city of California, and I could not believe it. And as I looked over that city, I was so proud of myself for doing that. I took that slide drop. I was glad that I had that available in my purse to use. And also I was happy when my son said, "Mom, you're in good shape." And that made me happy as well.
I love that testimonial. Every time I hear it, it just puts a smile on my face because I can picture you and your son hiking up there together. It's so awesome. So awesome. Thank you. So we have got just a couple minutes left before we wrap up. And I know we just poured a ton of information out at you. Hopefully you all got to taste some yummy drops, but if you have any questions, please feel free to type them in the chat. You can get with the person who invited you. And then Sheila, if you want to just close us out.
Well, yeah, sure. Well, everyone, I just would like to say thank you so much for joining us tonight. And we are so happy to share these exclusive drops with you and to be able to help people from all over with their health goals and needs. We would like to invite you to check out our private Facebook testimonials group, where you will see about 10,000 people who have shared their testimonies and experiences with these drops. And they are amazing testimonies. If you have any questions, reach out to the person who invited you and post a question directly in the Facebook page if you have any questions. Lastly, there is a short survey on the Facebook event page, and we would love for you to take time to fill out the survey for us and give us your feedback. Thanks again. Thanks so much for joining us at our event, and have a wonderful night and a good day tomorrow.
Yes, thank you all. Thank you, Sheila. Thank you, Yvette, Jennifer, Maxine. Thank you all. I'm going to stop sharing. And thank you, everyone, for spending the last hour with us. We hope that you got a lot of information as well as perked up your taste buds a little bit. Again, get back with the person who invited you, and hopefully we'll see you in that testimonials group. Thanks so much, everyone.
Okay,
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
thank you.